Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Gamescast now live, our live show, and we're going to be talking today about Until Dawn, Man of Medan. This is the first time that I'm doing this by myself, so bear with me as we go through this. But we're going to be talking all about a couple stories in a Gamescast-like fashion, only using a live stream to do it. So we're going to be going over these stories, and I'll be responding to comments and all that stuff. So hello to everybody that's joining us for the live stream. But I'm going to talk first like 10 minutes. I want to discuss these stories, talk about the actual topic, and then we will get to people, afterwards. Because of course this is going to actually be a video on the channel. So I want to talk about Until Dawn 2. Now Until Dawn is a phenomenal game. Okay, I love Until Dawn very, very much. It's one of my favorite PlayStation exclusives I believe that have ever come out. I truly believe that. And Man of Medan, that I've heard some people call it, I just call it Man of Medan. I don't know if that's right or wrong. This game, Supermassive Games, which is a fantastic studio, it's coming out August 30th. Now, we recently got word a couple days ago, and that's what this story is. Supermassive Games, the Dark Pictures Anthology, plan to be 8 games long. Pretty amazing, pretty incredible that they have this long of a thing planned out. But we're going to be going over this story first, then we're going to be going over the multiplayer for it, and then finally what this means for an Until Dawn 2. Because I think, honestly, that's the biggest thing. Until Dawn is the most recognizable thing that Supermassive Games, I believe, has going for it. Now, Man of Medan is the first of 8 games. Now, when they announced this Dark Pictures Anthology, I had said, and I made a video just a couple weeks ago, or like last week, and I talked about how I believe that, or I thought that maybe this could be a once-a-year thing. Turns out it's twice a year, and they're shooting for like every 6 months. Now, I don't think, I personally don't believe they're going to nail the every 6 months thing, but they talk about in this article how it's going to be playing over 8 games, and that they're all going to be, they even say, in terms of theme, subgenre, whatever. I also think that means just area, and in terms of, they said they have different actors working on it. Everything from a story, character perspective, we want it to be a surprise. We want to surprise people each time. And then what I do find interesting is they're sticking to what this game is. They're not doing anything else. They'll largely be the same mechanics. We've no plans to introduce anything else. So all those quick time kind of things, all literally like Until Dawn, Man of Medan. They're not changing anything about this. So I think that's really, really interesting. I think that that is their. I don't know. I mean, I like that. I don't like that it basically then puts them at a 4-year. This is all they're doing. They're making these games for 4 years. Now, basically, we're getting 8 Until Dawns over 4 years. And I think that's a really, really cool thing. So, personally, I like this news. I like that it's only going to take, I like that it's going to be for so long. And we pretty much know what to expect from them every 6 months. So, like August and like February. So, that's a really, really nice spot. Maybe we get like a Valentine's Day thing for February as well. But really, really awesome story. August 30th. I'm going to be playing it. We're getting a day 1 where we're going to be giving the game away, actually. And then the multiplayer. You're going to actually be able to play multiplayer. You have couch co-op, and you also have online where I don't necessarily love it where people can literally take over my decisions, especially like online stuff. But this is a lot like the game, and I don't actually even remember the game of it, but there was a game that came out on PlayStation exclusive from Supermassive, and it was like that detective game, and that game was a game you play all together, and like one person's trying to sabotage the game. This reminds me a lot of that. Now, I don't think I'm going to use this multiplayer feature literally at all, but so you can pick the characters to do. It's cool. I mean, I like it. I like the ability to have other people be able to choose what you're going to be able to do, or just have kind of a more like a grouping together of people playing this game. I think this game is going to be really good. I truly believe that. Question is, and they haven't announced this yet, they haven't talked about it, is how long is this game? Is this game like an 8-hour game? Is this game only like a 3 or 4-hour game? I've seen nowhere that this game is anything longer than that. That I feel like that's what it's going to be, and I haven't seen anywhere say that's going to be longer. That's going to be 8 to 10-hour game. especially because they say they got different teams working on this game. They got a team currently working on this, and they already have like 2 other teams at least making the next game. So they got different actors working on it, and they're going to be jumping studios every time. So the studio that made the internal team that made Man of Medan, when this game is out, they're moving on to probably the 3rd or 4th game in it. Another question I have is, how the heck are they going to bundle this? Are they going to bundle this game? Because you have 8 games that are pretty much all the exact same thing. Is it that every 2 games they're going to have like a bundle, like the Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls, and how we've seen every bundling in the book with those games? Are they going to have like the first 2 games in the anthology, and then 3, and then 4, and like in 4 years they're going to have all 8 games like bundled together that you can buy? It's going to be pretty darn cool to say the least. The biggest question before I go into comments, and thank you to anybody that's actually still sticking with us, is it coming to Switch? I do not believe it's coming to Switch. I don't think it's coming to Switch at all. The biggest thing, in my opinion, that has to do with this game is, what does this mean for Until Dawn 2? Because Until Dawn 2, again, or Until Dawn, the biggest thing that I think Supermassive Games has, it's the game that they rose to power, basically, that everybody kind of knows from them. It's a game that's at this point 4 years old. It came out in the summer, I believe in August 28th, 27th of 2015. So it's been 4 years, and ever since that, they made Rush of Blood, they made that detective game that I can't honestly remember the name of, and then now they're making this. This is going to take 4 years and 8 games long. Does this mean at the end of these 8 games and 4 years that we're going to be having an Until Dawn 2? I feel like that's very possible. I feel like that, and the question is, are they going to get back in with Sony? Because Sony owns that IP in terms of Supermassive Games with Until Dawn. So Sony could do whatever they want with the title Until Dawn. But normally, and this is the same thing with like a Bloodborne, you're not just going to give that title to another random studio to make a game for you, because you probably want the people that came up with the game. You want Supermassive Games to be able to, actually make their own game. So would Supermassive Games, after literally being independent in a way and having 8 games come out over 4 years on 3 consoles or 2 consoles and PC, would they then say, okay, we'll make an exclusive for you Until Dawn 2? And I think it's possible. I think it's something that I think it's something that Sony is banking on with a couple different studios. I think at this point, they're expecting Insomniac to just make exclusive Spider-Man games for them long term. I think they're expecting at some point From Software to come back to them and do a Bloodborne 2, while they're also making like 1,000 other games. And I think they're eventually expecting Supermassive Games to eventually make an Until Dawn 2 for the PlayStation exclusive. So that's a risky thing, because Supermassive could say, we don't ever plan on going back. Until Dawn was amazing. It kicked us off. It's helping us make these games, Man of Medan and all these other games, but we're not going to do it. Like, we're not going to go back to making Until Dawn. And that's a thing that also Bloodborne and From Software can say is, Bloodborne was very important. It kind of let us be more mainstream in terms of a mainstream feel, but we're not gonna go back to it. So I think that's very, very possible. And Until Dawn, I think hopefully they can go back to Until Dawn, because I'd personally like that to happen. So yeah, not coming to Switch. Kind of sucks. But hello everybody, how's it going? I hope they do an Until Dawn 2 after 8 Dark Picture games, but what would it be about, and would they do a new cast or follow the end? So, yeah, and that's the thing, is they had talked about, I think when that game originally came out, when Until Dawn came out, I thought there was talk of what a future game would be, and how they said, like, it cannot be with that cast. They would not do it with that same cast. And at that point, after 4 years from now, which would also then be another 4 years from when that game came out, I don't know. I mean, you're looking at that cast being like in their mid-30s, like Hayden Panettiere and all of them. Like, they were great. I thought she was awesome in that game, but I don't see how you could possibly have that happen. I don't see how you could possibly use the same cast. The Wendigos, I think what Man of Medan and all of these other future games are going to show us is that they can do other. I wonder what the comments are of this. Is that they can do other things, right? That they can actually have other supernatural things. I've always said, even when it came to this, and even when it came to pitching like the next game, I think a game like in a forest, like a camping trip, would be really, really cool. This one's obviously like on a ship. That's like the main thing. I wonder if they're going to be on the ship the entire time is the biggest thing in my mind. Like, I wonder if that's going to happen. But I think that this is going to show us that they can do other supernatural things, and they can do now the cast is the biggest thing. It's easy to pick supernatural elements and juggle them and do different scares like that. I think they can make it work with the Wendigos. I think they can make it work with whatever that freaky looking girl is that I can't find. Oh, she's on the live stream. When you see the bottom left hand corner, that woman, like, that looks terrifying. That picture just creeps me out. That's why I picked it. I think they're gonna have no problems doing that. I think they'll have problems scaring us and constantly making things that are scary, that's for sure. But the cast will be the biggest thing. If you're going to constantly have a game every 6 months, now last time they did this game was, Until Dawn. They had, like, what, 5, 6 characters. Amazing. And they were all good in their own way. And they were all good because they were those stereotypical things, right? Like, there was, like, the nerd girl and, like, the cocky one and, like, the one that kind of survives everything with Hayden Panettiere's character, with Mike, which is the only one I can actually think of, the actual in-game character. But they had all these stereotypes of characters, and it worked for that game. Question is now, how many characters are in this? 1, 2... Well, there's 2 there, 2 there. Is there like 6? I don't actually know how many characters. I feel like the picture that they're all like sitting in, I feel like there's like 5 or 6 of them. So you keep having these games come out every 6 months, and if you keep having 6 new characters, that's a lot of characters. Now, games do it all the time, where they come out, say like an Uncharted, but if you look at that, they normally keep the core cast. Uncharted 1 through 4, there's like 6 characters in that entire thing that are main characters. They have to toggle a villain each time, change a villain, but they keep the main cast. It's always Nate, it's always Elena, it's always Sully. They introduce Chloe, they introduce a couple other characters, they introduce Sam, but like that's 6 or 7 characters max. Nadine. So, they keep that. To come up with 5 to 6 brand new characters that are their own unique thing that we're supposed to care about or at least be interesting in their own way, and do that every 6 months, I think it's going to be really interesting to see if they can actually do that. A game in a mall, ooh, that would be cool. Anything terrifying. A ship is good. A forest is good. I don't know, something like I was gonna say, like, in water. A ship is on water, but a game that revolves around water. I think, like, even with like a supernatural mermaid kind of thing would be really cool. A mall, yeah, they could do something very realistic even with that, like just in a suburban or like a metro city kind of thing. Do we know how long the games will be? Because being released every 6 months seems like they'll be short. Exactly. I think that they haven't said it. And I wonder if I can look without giving away any... Look at all this. Look at this Google guy. Man of Medan game length. You think I'd find anything? I know that's not how you spell length. Game length Oh, whoa, wait, what? This is out? First title... It was unveiled just... Oh, they already said it. What? Wait. It was unveiled just how long players will have to go in the game in order to wrap up the narrative. The average play time would be about 4 hours. But again, that could be longer or potentially shorter, solely depending on choices and actions taken by the player. Interesting. So they're only 4-hour games. That's it. They're only 4-hour games. So... yeah, that's it's kind of what I anticipated, that I'll pay $30 for a 4-hour game, especially in the way that they're doing it, where it's replayable and you can constantly play it over and over. Hopefully, this isn't the case where like they say, look at all these ads, look at all these people trying to sell us stuff, guys. Make sure you support them. This is the case of like I hope this isn't the case of when a person says it, because a lot of times when developers say how long their game's going to be, it ends up being like actually shorter. It's like 40% shorter than what the person says. Hopefully he's right and it's just 4 hours. It's not any less than that. I assume maybe if you kill off characters, it would maybe be less than that. But 4 hours, but with the chance of going back and playing. Honestly, I feel like games like this, Until Dawn, you could probably play 2 to 3 times, no problem, and do things vastly different. So it's only like an 8-hour game Until Dawn, but if you play it 2-3 times, now it's a 20-hour game. So this, it's 4 hours if you play it, and it's only 4 hours, but if you play it twice, even if you just play it twice and you make radically different decisions just to see what happens, and a lot of people do that with these kind of games. I will 100% do that. That's 8 hours. 8 hours for $30. That's a pretty good deal. Back in the day, you bought Uncharted, you bought games in the PS3 and Xbox 360, you bought Halo. I know Halo had multiplayer, but you buy single-player games, and they only had 6 to 8 hour games. I bought Uncharted 1, $60. It was an 8-hour game. That's it. And you really only play that game one time. So 8 hours for this for $30, 8 hours for other games back in the day for the normal price. I would buy a game like Life is Strange even for $60, and that was 5 episodes, and that was only $20. So or 25 or whatever. So I'd say that's worth it, and I'd say I would honestly drop $30 every 6 months for a 8-hour adventure. I've already wasted $40 of my money to buy Life is Strange Season 2 when that is a 2.5 hours for 5 episodes. So what's that? That's like 12 hours. So I've paid $10 more for 2 hours for Life is Strange. Seems in line with what, and maybe you can play this game 3 times. I mean, here's 3 decisions. There's another one down here. 3. I mean, obviously these small decisions aren't going to make the biggest impact later on, but ultimately they will. So what else do we got? 4 hours is kind of short. I hope the story is pretty good for a 4-hour game. I was hoping for at least 6. Abandoned suburb houses with dark past and teens invest. Oh yeah. Or like a ghost story. I think like a ghost story would be pretty solid. Just having a ghost story, I think, would be pretty darn cool. I think it's gonna be pretty neat. I think it's tough. I honestly, when I thought of it, I was praying that it wasn't 3 hours. I think 4 hours is kind of what I set my expectation to, and I was hoping maybe it could get to 6 or 8 hours, like absolute max. I didn't think it was going to be more than an 8-hour game. 6 is kind of what I was hoping for, but 4. Here's the thing: Wolfenstein Youngblood comes out 2 weeks from now, and it's $30, and they say it's like 25 hours of content. I don't believe that. I don't believe Bethesda on anything. But I don't believe Bethesda one bit, considering all the stuff that they've done in the past. But I really, if that's true though, that probably makes this game look pretty bad, because you have a game comes out at the end of July, it's $30. It's kind of that in between kind of game. You have this game comes out end of August, 1 month later. It's the same price, and if you get 30 hours of content in Wolfenstein, and then you get 4 hours here, or even say 10. If you replay it twice and you take forever, let's give it 10 hours. 10 hours to 30 hours, or like 25 hours, and it's the same price. That's quite different. I'm not one to buy Wolfenstein Youngblood. I much prefer games like this, but that would honestly make this game, I feel like, pretty darn bad. Look, Christy's here. Just a little topic, but have you seen the Switch Lite? What are your thoughts on it? Yeah, I want this game to come out. I want this game to come out on the Switch. Switch Lite, pretty okay. But I don't like that it's just handheld. I like it to be connected to the TV. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. Unless you can think of anything else for me to say about Man of Medan or Medan. This game looks really, really cool. It's honestly the game I'm most looking forward to. There's been a lot of good games. We had Crash Team Racing. I love Crash. I love Team Racing. Super Mario Maker 2 is a really good game. I'm excited for Fire Emblem. I really want it. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It'll probably be the best game of June through August, just in all. But the game I'm most excited for in June through August, even probably more than Crash, or at least equal to Crash, is this game. I think this game, if it's even half as good as Until Dawn, it's going to be such a fun and really, really cool game. And we've been waiting 4 years for basically an Until Dawn clone to come from these guys, and now finally we get it. So, I know, it's very creepy. That's a woman. Oh yeah, and me. So, let me know, firstly, guys, in the comments below, if you guys are watching live streaming-wise, or if you guys are watching as a video, like, later on. What do you think of this topic? What do you think of Until Dawn 2? How do you think this affects Until Dawn 2? I think Until Dawn is possible. I'd honestly put it like 60-40. We will get Until Dawn 2 at the end of this. It's just, we literally have to wait 4 years. We have to wait 3 years into the next generation life cycle. Who knows what happens just in life and with the gaming industry in 4 years. It's a long time to wait, but this game overall, Man of Medan, looks phenomenal. I'm really, really excited for it. It's just that I think this pushes Man of Medan, this pushes Until Dawn quite a bit back. So let me know about what you guys think about all that. Let me know what you guys think about this live stream. I liked doing it. It was kind of fun. We're going to be experimenting. I'm going to be back. Now, just so you guys know, we'll be back doing this again Tuesday. Tuesday will be the next Gamescast Now live. And then Christy and I will be back next Saturday doing a gaming live stream at night. So next Tuesday, we'll be doing another one of these on whatever topic is big in the moment. I want to try and do microphone. I want to try and like sit a little bit differently and use a microphone and see if that improves the audio, and then visual quality in terms of like live stream itself we'll work on. But every time I do this, I kind of want it to get a little bit better. And then in a few weeks, Tyler and I will be doing our live show. So hopefully the live streams and whatnot get a little bit better over time is what I'm hoping for. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching both live stream and in terms of videos. We're going to be doing this more often. Again, Tuesday we will be back, and I hope to see you guys there.